Hi, I'm Dr. Allen from Jones Animal Hospital. Welcome to Vet Visits. Today we're going to talk about hot weather hazards. We've had some warm weather here lately and going to have a lot more warm weather in the months to come. And just want to talk for a few minutes about how your pets, especially your dogs, deal with hot weather, what things are especially hazardous for your dog during this time of year, what you can do to help prevent them, to help keep them safe, and what you can and can't do with your dog during the warmer months. The thing people always worry about is heat stroke, and heat stroke is real. And I see dogs almost every year that come into my hospital that are suffering from heat stroke. And sometimes their body temperatures will be 107, 108 degrees, and they'll be seizuring. And if they don't receive pretty prompt care, they're going to at the least have brain damage, and in some cases they'll go ahead and die from that. So heat stroke is something that's very real. And it's something that your dog can get in a very short period of time. You know, the classic condition is a dog that's left locked in a closed car. And we all know you never leave your kids or your pets in closed cars in the summertime unless they're running with air conditioning on. So just don't do it. It's amazing how fast a car can get hot and how quickly a dog can succumb to heat stroke. But there's other times they can get heat stroke too. I had a couple of chow dogs one time that just got loose during the heat of the summer, and they ran and ran and ran, and they ran themselves literally to death. And nobody was chasing them, they were just running. And because of the heavy coat, and they just couldn't dissipate the heat, you know, they wound up here in the hospital, and they both succumbed to heat stroke. So heat stroke can be something as simple as just the dog got loose with a heavy coat during the summertime and ran. You know, dogs that are kept out in the yard, you know, as long as they have access to shade and plenty of water, they should be fine. Just make sure that their shade is well ventilated. You know, not an enclosed doghouse with no ventilation that's going to heat up in the same way a car would heat up. Plenty of fresh water all the time is super important. I can't overemphasize that. And check the water. You know, water will sometimes get bugs in it, it'll sometimes grow moss and algae and things like that. So make sure the dogs always have access to plenty of fresh water. Lots of people exercise their dogs. Lots of people like to run with their dogs and walk with them, and just be sensible. You know, if it's going to be 95 degrees with a heat index over 100, you know, get up early in the morning when it's still cool, or walk them late in the evening after it cools down some. You know, if you're comfortable, the dog's going to be comfortable. I know there's some die-hard runners out there who run no matter what the temperature, day or night. That's great if you want to do that, but don't expect your dog to do that. Now, some dogs get out there and run with them, especially some of the short-coated breeds that are very athletic, but dogs many times cannot dissipate heat or get rid of extra heat like we can. You know, we sweat. You know, dogs just pant, and they can only get rid of a certain amount of heat by panting. So be just aware that sometimes people can be more heat tolerant than dogs can. So if you want to exercise with your dogs, that's great. It's good for you and it's good for the dogs. But get up early in the morning when it's still cool, go out late in the evenings. You know, just be wise and kind to your dog when you're looking at things like that. Cats don't have too much trouble as far as heat's concerned because cats aren't out running. They have sense enough to lay up where it's cool. Most cats, you know, enjoy their spot on the back of the couch in the air conditioning. It's very rarely a problem with cats. However, if you ever notice that your cat is panting, that's not good. Cats don't normally pant, and if they're panting, they've either gotten very hot or they're very stressed. So a panting cat, unlike a panting dog, which may be perfectly happy, a panting cat is something that needs to be addressed and need to be cooled down. If you think your dog is developing heat stroke, you know, and the signs are, you know, they may just be passed out, you know, they might be seizuring, don't just douse them in a bucket of ice water. You can certainly drop their body temperature too fast and too far and can actually wind up cause them to develop hypothermia. Alcohol on the pads of their feet helps to cool them down some. You know, putting, you know, lukewarm or barely cool water on them to help cool them down. Getting them, of course, out of the sun. Putting a fan on them. Get them to the veterinarian as fast as possible. Many times these animals need to be treated for shock. They need to be put on IV fluids. Sometimes they have to be given injections of steroids. Many things can be done to help bring them out of heat stroke. Heat stroke, though, can be fatal. So be very aware of the things that can cause your dog to go into heat stroke. Watch for the signs, which are, you know, disorientation, not moving around very well. If you suspect it, you know, have them checked. Summer's a great time to get out and enjoy the weather, enjoy the outside with your pets, but just be careful. Heat stroke is something that can happen, and be considerate of your pets. I'm Dr. Ned Allen from Jones Animal Hospital. Thanks for visiting with us on Vet Visits.